Moving on, we do have some interesting news coming out of Hong Kong Disneyland, where it appears they are now testing character dining for the first time since the COVID-19 mess has occurred. And something that's fascinating to me is just how they're doing this. So it looks like, according to everything that we have seen reported out of this experience at the Hong Kong Disneyland Hotel, that characters are a part of the experience still, but they are at a distance. They are socially distanced, if you will, and they are walking through the restaurant. They are stopping in sort of a general area and posing for photos, and then that's about it. And then they're moving on. I don't know how many times they appear throughout the meal, but that whole idea of like hugging, grabbing, posing with, playing with, dancing with, getting autographs from these characters, having them write out an autograph in front of you, might just be a thing of the past at this point based on how they're starting to test this field and what we're seeing coming out of Hong Kong Disneyland. So Garrett, tell me, as somebody that is a former entertainment cast member, I mean, this is something, character dining is something people pay an upcharge for. And so much of the benefit of character interaction is that embrace, is that autograph, and the individual interaction with you and your child. And from that entertainment perspective, how would a character sort of make that impact and experience worthwhile if they're standing 10 feet away in the middle of a dining room? Like what would they be able to do to make that character dining experience worth it?
So the entertainment department at Walt Disney World is a very treasured one. You've had the opportunity to work in it as well. So you know how often it comes down to the performer and just how that performer behaves. It really does stink because I remember when I used to do dining shifts, how I would have a lot of fun because you have to go really fast because you have to keep up with the tables and such. But it was always fun because it's like trying to put Phantasmic into a 1 minute interaction, and it's just a challenge, but it's a fun one. So from a distance of say 10 feet, you would just have to do like the performer, big, loud expressions, a lot of nonverbals, maybe some messing around, but it's pretty much like you're like Bert and Mary Poppins, where you're the one man band doing everything from a distance, trying to dance and juggle and do backflips all at the same time while giving them a one of a kind experience. So it's very challenging. I have no doubt that Disney will somehow, like, I don't know, they'll have some kind of choreography or something like that. But I think if anyone can do it, Disney can for sure. When you watch, say, Magic Happens and the character is 20 feet in the air, you still feel that one-on-one connection, even though they're interacting with 70 other people next to you. So if they can do it in a parade, I think you can do it in a restaurant. To a certain degree, it all comes down to the energy of the performer. So I look forward to seeing it happen because, like, it sounds fun, and plus, people want characters. People love the characters. Like, you can go to the parks and just have a good time, but the characters truly make it a little bit special because there's nothing like walking down Main Street and seeing Mickey Mouse wave at you. There's nothing quite like that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'll take what I can get. You bet. And it's just nice to have characters out and about again. It's nice to see them again in any capacity. And I know that Bob Iger, the executive chairman of the Walt Disney Company, he said in an interview not too long ago that they would be taking cues, the Disney Company would, from the China parks as to how they reopen things here. And this is why I think this story is important, not just about Hong Kong Disneyland and the way that they're starting to reopen things, but also the way Shanghai Disneyland is also testing out their social distancing guidelines, and they're running their pyrotechnics and parades and stuff like that right now, trying to figure out how they're going to best make this a guest experience that's worthwhile. Tyler, tell me, is character dining worth the upcharge price if they're just doing a drive-by at a distance?
Yeah, see, that's actually where I don't think it is. I think, like, you have to consider character dining. It definitely is more expensive than just going to any other restaurant. And the reason is because I kind of consider it almost like a fast pass for my character meet and greets. Like, it's kind of like you're just paying for that one-on-one moment that you get with all those characters. And like, we went to Topolino's Terrace last time we were in Disney World, and we did the breakfast there, and that was so much fun and we had our own kind of like room off to the side too. We were just lucky, I guess. And so it was so nice having all the characters come and actually take fun pictures with us and like goof around with us. And I think it's nice that they're offering characters again, but at the same price that they would charge for that one-on-one time. I really don't think it's worth it personally, because again, we just had so many great memories from the little jokes and things that we did with these characters that can't even talk to us. That's a really great testament to these entertainers, because they can't even talk to us yet. We just have all these like funny moments that happened. And I just, without that, I just don't know, to me, if I would pay for those sorts of things.
You feel the same way, Katrina?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's really hard because I look back into like families that have never really got to see the characters. And like Tyler said, it's like a fast pass to meet characters, and they pay this extra money to go meet these characters and see their children experiences for the first time, and getting autographs and taking pictures and hugging Mickey Mouse for the first time. And that really breaks my heart that they can't do this. And I think of my niece and nephew when, you know, it was a really busy day on around like a couple days after Christmas, and we went to Goofy's Kitchen at the Disneyland Hotel, and we couldn't see any of the characters in the parks because the lines were too long and it was a super hot day. And so I was like, oh, we're going to go to Goofy's Kitchen. Don't worry about it. And they had like the time of their lives. They jumped up, hugged Chip and Dale, got their autograph, and it just made their day. And now I think about these families for the first time trying to see these characters, and they can't even give them a hug and get this personal experience. And it's really sad.
I mean, like, imagine having to explain to a very young child that they have to sit at their table and they can't go say hi to Mickey or Goofy or whoever. They have to just sit there and watch. I just feel like that would be a really tough thing for families with very young kids.
Do you imagine a situation perhaps like, you think of Fort Wilderness Resort and the Hoop-de-Doo Review. Do you imagine a situation where character dining only takes that route of, characters on stage, maybe characters doing a show, and there being a dining experience? I mean, at least in that way, there's some additional entertainment value added, even if you can't necessarily give them that hug that you were looking for. You are getting something rather exclusive. You think maybe something like that could happen?
It's kind of hard because even with Hoop-de-Doo, they get some personal experience in there. They go into the crowd, they have you, what's that thing, the washboard, and, they try to get you to participate, and they pull people on stage, and they're not going to be able to do that. So, it'll be like a country bear kind of thing, I guess. Just stay up in the thing.
Even like
party.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
How dare you?
Like, we, again, bringing up Topolino's Terrace, like, they do, when the characters come out in their waves, they do have a little show that they have this kind of Italian chef come on, even though it's at the Riviera. Don't get me started. And he says all these little things about the characters, and they do little dances, and so they do have those types of events already in some of these restaurants, but they would really have to figure out a way to flesh that stuff out, I think, because again, I think I would do these character meals if it wasn't that same pricing. I just don't know what the pricing is. That's really the hard stop for me.
Well, we'll see what happens. I know that character dining in general is something that is very special to a lot of families. It's a big part of what people sort of center their trips around. And hopefully, I worry that character dining might never be the same again. It would be nice to see our Disney parks get back to a good place where, potentially we could do character dining like we used to. But I almost worry that we might never see that again. Garrett, we'll give you the last word on this. You feel like maybe we'll see character dining return in the fashion it was before COVID?
I have no doubt that it will one day return to it. I think it will take a little while, but I think that you can't really have those true dining experiences without that amazing interaction where the character comes up behind the 2-year-old and then you see the 2-year-old light up. Like, you can't recreate that from a 10-foot distance. It's not like the movies. That in-person aspect where you have the ability to hug and touch is just so amazing. Because I remember many guests, they freak out when they see their character that they haven't seen in so long. You get someone that Goofy's their favorite, and they finally see Goofy after 10 years. It's just the most heartwarming thing. So I have full faith that it will one day return to the full facet it once in. But Tyler, the question I have for you is, if they lower the price but added a hugging and touching fee, would you be into that? Because if you know,
What are you trying to say about Minnie Mouse?
no, I'm saying if our good friend Chapek, he loves to find extra ways to pull on those wallet strings. If he added a fee, like, you can have the normal buffet, but no characters get to meet you, or $20 extra, you get a high five
and a complimentary mask.
In a way, that's kind of what they're doing right now already, or not right now, but before this all happened, that's kind of what they were doing. It is kind of just a one-on-one fee that you're paying for these characters. That's how I see it. I see it as, when you pay this extra money for food that is sometimes not the greatest food, you are paying for this one-on-one relationship. I really, again, I consider it like a fast pass for character meets, so that you don't have to spend your time in the parks waiting in lines and things like that. So if I'm not going to have that one-on-one personal touch, then I'm not going to pay that price. And it's, you broke it out like that, Garrett, but I think that's kind of the way it was before. Is really, that really already was what you were paying for. You were paying for the touching fee, I guess, if you want to call it that.
We have got to change that terminology. What was that, Katrina?
Will just charge that one, that one fee. So, let's say $75 to have the buffet, and on top of that, an extra $20 to get a high five.
Boy, that's a lot of money.
So you can see, but you cannot touch for $75, but for an extra $20.
What is this, the red light district? What's happening?
No. The standard fee is going to be called the museum fee, where you can look but not touch.
The museum
if you
fee.
Want if you want, then it becomes the touch and feel exhibit.
Oh gosh, that sounds so dirty. Yeah, we're going in this really deep end here.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.